Bills training camp is just around the corner. We're going to get you ready by previewing the team position by position. I'm Thad Brown, joined by A.J. Feldman, and we begin, as you might expect, at the top with quarterback. And we're also going to play the world-famous game known as Yes, No, Kinda. We'll explain how this works. I'm going to go through the strength, weakness, and X factor at this position. A.J. will let you know how much of an impact it'll have. So we start with the strength at quarterback, and no doubt it's this guy right here. I mean, when you have an elite quarterback like Josh Allen who can do it all, he's got experience now. I mean, the guy can just about run the offense. In some cases, he might do it. He is certainly the strength for the Bills at quarterback. So, AJ, the question is, how much of an impact, how much of a season changer can Josh Allen be? And to start this whole process, I'm giving you the softball.
You gave me the easy one.
The easy one, exactly.
I'm going to go with yes. Bold take. We're going to say yes, Josh Allen is good. You know, it really doesn't need to be said too much. Whether or not you think he's the best quarterback in the league, the number 2 quarterback in the league, number 3, anywhere in the top 5, he's somewhere in there. Obviously, Josh Allen is a guy who can win you a Super Bowl. He can be the number 1 player on your Super Bowl team. He's paid like a franchise quarterback. He is a franchise quarterback. Yes, there are some things you can nitpick off of last season. Granted, he was dealing with that injury down the stretch. But by and large, this is probably the easiest question that you're going to ask in this segment. Yes, he is a strength that can lead you to a Super Bowl.
This segment and all the other position segments, yes. Okay, the weakness for the Bills at quarterback is the backup, Kyle Allen. Now look, the last 2 years the Bills have had Mitch Trubisky and Case Keenum, guys who have won playoff games, guys who've been extended season-long starters and successful. Kyle Allen has not been that. This guy's pretty much a career backup. So I think it's a step down for the Bills, which is why I call it a weakness. So now the question to you is, how much of a season changer, how much could this weakness debilitate, or can this weakness debilitate the season? Yes, no, kind of.
I'm going to say no, in terms of the fact that if Josh Allen is out, your season is basically kind of over. It's this is what they said with Peyton Manning all those years. Jim Sorgi never got a lot of snaps because his 18 is out. I think they had a different word to use, but we're not going to say this on RochesterFirst.com. But it's the same thing with Allen. Whether or not it's Mitch Trubisky, whether or not it's Case Keenum, whether or not it's Kyle Allen, if he's starting playoff games, barring some immaculate run where all things line up, you know, Greg Rousseau turns into Von Miller is Von Miller, like everything breaks their way, I don't think their backup quarterback is leading them to a Super Bowl. Can Kyle Allen play 5 games and get them to 2-3 and keep their season alive? I think he can. So for this instance, I'm going to say no.
I agree. I don't think Kyle Allen in a short dose will be a killer to the season. The X factor for me for the Bills at quarterback is offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. Now look, they actually went up, the Bills did, in most general offensive categories. Yards per run, yards per pass, points stayed exactly flat. But I think most people saw Dorsey's first year as a disappointment. And there probably needs to be a big jump from Dorsey for this offense to really take there's not many step forwards it can take, but to take that step forward, he needs to get better. How big a deal in your mind, or is it a big deal in your mind, that Dorsey have a big season? Yes, no, kind of.
I'm saying yes. Like you said, the numbers itself, and this will be in the article down below, they don't really indicate too much of a drop-off, but it totally felt different. It was harder. It was more difficult. The playoff game was a mess. You know, they were dealing with some injuries, things like that. But bottom line is, the 11 starters that they had to open up the season played the end of the season. So injuries weren't that much of an issue. You know, Gabe Davis's ankle, Josh Allen's elbow, things like that. But all the pieces were there for Ken Dorsey to figure this out. He couldn't really do it when it mattered most. Things got difficult down the stretch. And the best way for a lot of these players to improve, put them in better situations. Increase the play calling, things like that. If you want, you know, it's a sort of a rising tide that can raise all boats.
Yes.
If Ken Dorsey can improve so much, that will certainly help the offense a bunch.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not the biggest factor, but I think it is one of the big factors that Dorsey has a better season, learned from some mistakes. I think you would expect it after year 1 that year 2 would be better, but it better be better.
Because play calling in the NFL, I've never done it myself, is probably pretty difficult.
Probably.
And to do it for the first time, that'll be tough. However, if you can't get it done this season, you can't wait around forever. This guy, you never know how many years he's got at this elite level, you know, injuries, things like that. Crazy things happen. You can't expect your Super Bowl window to last forever. And if you can't get it done this year, it might be a time to make a change.
Certainly the wide open part of the window, I think, might end this season. Okay, you're all set at quarterback. Training camp coming up soon. Click on another preview here at RochesterFirst.com.